I really don't trust Venom. I really don't trust Venom. Now, this is purely superstition on my part. It's just my feeling. But I just don't trust him to perform under pressure. I don't trust him to perform when I need him to perform. And I don't trust him with my resources. But you know who I do trust with my resources? Cull Obsidian. So if you're lucky enough to catch this video early, immediately after this goes out, I will be going live. We're going to hop into the Rebirth Arena, and I have, as most people do right now, an enormous 2-star roster, and we are going to grind out that final Rebirth token, take Cull Obsidian from the selector, take him straight from rank 1 to rank 4. He'll be unawakened, but we're going to awaken him from the Realm event shortly, so I don't really care. We're going to have an absolute blast with that guy on stream today, so that'll be a lot of fun. But now back to Venom. I don't trust him. And it's really, really strange, because at no point in this video are you going to hear me suggest that he's a bad character. As you've just seen, Spider-Man Classic, 500,000 health, 35 seconds. You're going to see him just run through this 8.3.6 lane and then crush Cerastes. Right, you're just going to see him obliterate this entire lane. Class disadvantage, class advantage, neutral class relationship. Just as long as they can be bled, they die. Right, and that's it. He's obviously insane. That much has been evident ever since 7 stars came out. At the moment the CCP got access to 7-star Venom, it became apparent that if you have the Awakened Venom Relic, which I do, I have the 6-star rank 2 version of the Venom Relic on this guy, and it's awakened, he's one of the most sought after champions from the base pool. He is ridiculous. I still don't quite trust him. It's not even that I don't like him. I do like him. I think he's really, really fun. As a character in the game, it reflects really well how the character is in the films and the comics. He is savage. He is violent. He rips things apart, literally. That's his SP3 animation. It's one of the most violent SP3 animations in the game. So it's not even that I don't like him. I just don't trust him. And it is pure superstition. But, I mean, Clarkson puts it best.
And I hate downforce. It's like having an invisible elephant. What if the elephant falls off?
And it really is that simple. You have all this stuff going on in Venom's kit to make sure that he's absurd, but my brain's just like, but what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? Because Venom is absolutely packed to the brim with obviously lots of damage, but also quite a lot of utility that makes him a phenomenal character. So obviously he has lots of buffs, lots of unique buffs. That's utility. He has access to an armor break debuff and lots of DOT through his bleeds. That's utility. He tends to crit quite a lot. That's utility. He also has a True Strike passive. He gains, I believe, when the opponent goes below 15%, but it's also just up at all times against Spider-Verse characters, so they can't evade. They can't evade Venom, which makes him very, very good, obviously, against like a champion, a defender vulnerable to bleed, such as like Nick Fury, but also against probably a more recent defender that has really made herself known, and that is Spider-Woman. So Spider-Woman can't evade Venom, and she is vulnerable to bleed, so she just dies immediately, and she could really do nothing against him as long as she doesn't throw an SB1. So this guy's got all this stuff going on to make him absurd, but I can't get over the fact that quite a lot still needs to go right for you to get everything out of this character, and I just don't see him being useful to me as a rank 3 or let alone a rank 4 in Alliance War or like questing even or Battlegrounds, right? So Venom obviously relies quite heavily on his buffs, and that is fair. He is a traditional cosmic character, so you need lots of buffs, and he is vulnerable to every form of buff manipulation. If you go up against a node with Nullify, Fate Seal, Stagger, Neutralize, right, he's vulnerable to all of them. So if anybody tries to screw with your buffs, that's going to significantly damage your damage output. He also relies quite heavily on Bleed. Bleed is one of the most common immunities in the game. In fact, there's a Mangog at the end of this path, and I'm just going to have to cut that fight out and let Luke Cage do the rest, because Venom straight up will not be able to do that. He is Armor Break, Bleed Immune, Class Disadvantage, and has anti-buff utility. you're done. You're done. I mean, obviously that's not a massive mark against him. That's a mystic defender. He's obviously designed to be quite difficult to fight with Venom. But I just... it's just like he relies on lots of buffs. He relies on lots of debuffs, and there are so many defenders now that will cut at least one of those. At least having to rely on both buffs and debuffs, no passives whatsoever, is a massive mark against him in 2025. Even if I take him to like rank 3 and there happens to be a beneficial Battlegrounds meta, you could go months without seeing a beneficial Battlegrounds meta for this guy, and we skip past Mangog. Even in those metas, defenders like Bullseye, defenders like Deathless Thanos, actually probably do quite well against Deathless Thanos, but defenders like Atuma, like Serpent, like I think he does quite well against Yelena Belova and Spider-Woman and Nick Fury, but also defenders like Onslaught, defenders like Photon. Right? There are just so many ways that you might end up drafting Venom, and then you just don't get to use him. You just straight don't get to use him, because there are so many better options that exist now in the Cosmic class, but also just like game-wide, that mean that traditional Cosmic characters aren't really going to get the love they need. And, you know, every now and then there's a beneficial meta, and there's some guy who's running a big Venom, and I leave Venom unbanned, and then he happens to draft him, and I don't have a good defender, and I get ripped to shreds in 20 seconds. That's what happens. Right, that's what happens when you let Venom out of the box, because he is insane. But I just don't trust him, and I know this is just pure superstition, but I think it's quite a funny topic for a video. I don't trust him enough to allow him to perform under pressure. I don't want to bring Venom into a matchup where I need him to perform. Right, because even if you're allowed to have all these buffs, even if you're allowed to have all these debuffs, even if, you know, there's nothing screwing with your crit rate, what if you don't crit? What if you don't crit? Your buff gain is entirely RNG, right? You could draft 3 Furies, 2 Precisions, and melt everything in minus 10 seconds. That's possible. You could also draft 8 physical resistances, try re-rolling it with a heavy attack, and just draft more physical resistances. Both of these scenarios have happened to me plenty of times with Venom, and the latter is supremely annoying. So I don't trust him in a matchup like Nick Fury or like Spider-Woman. I would rather bring in someone guaranteed, even if I know that Venom will probably do it better. Like, let's be honest, he will probably do those matchups better than someone like Okoye or someone like Sunspot. He will probably go faster, be a more aggressive champion for Battlegrounds than those two. Obviously, you know, those two attackers are insane, and played correctly, they will rival him. But I hope that what you've seen today will confirm what I'm saying, and just see that he is among the most stupid characters to ever exist. Right, you know, this buff is just ridiculous. Short form, mid-range content. Long form, he has the damage for it. If you're allowed to bring in his utility, he's absolutely fine for long form content, but he's not designed for it, so he loses out there a little bit. But for everything else, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And he crushes Cerastes. We have lots of unique buffs going on. Again, that utility, really simple utility, really good utility, really good for Iron Man Cerastes. So I just thought, really quick 8.3 lane. Is that a little bit undertuned for a 7-star rank 2? Probably. I'm fairly sure the node wasn't doing anything to buff his damage output. It might have been. But I don't think it was very much. And I'm fairly sure a 7-star rank 2 Venom is capable of executing Spider-Man with 500,000 health in 30 seconds. I think that's definitely reasonable. But, you know, just run through that lane, crush Cerastes, make a joke, and leave it. That's my content for today. Now, one more piece of housekeeping. I probably should have said this at the start, but I think I did that in previous takes of this video, and it didn't really rattle off very well. A little bit wordy. But anyway, the last piece, probably the most important piece of housekeeping actually, is if you are a free-to-play player in 2025, now, if you're a free-to-play player, then please, if you have something constructive, informative, interesting to say about what it's like to be a free-to-play player in 2025, then please leave it in a comment below, right? Please leave it in a comment below, because I am arranging a collaboration with another MCOC content creator. I won't say who, bit of a surprise, coming up very soon. I think we're close to getting this arranged, where we talk about exactly that topic. We talk about what it's like to be a free-to-play player with all the paywall champions coming out. Rate of paywall release has just skyrocketed in 2025. What it's like in Battlegrounds, in Alliance War, what it's like with the rate of Defender release. Obviously, that's pretty frustrating right now, and it's been a topic of my own content and plenty of other content creators' content. So we're going to talk about that. It's going to be a really fun conversation. Hopefully coming out soon. Just got to sort out the tech on my side. And yeah, that is just about it for Cerastes. There you go. So that was 8.3 boss down in 4.5 minutes. If you are looking to do the Act 8 Crucible at any time, then there's your option for Cerastes. I was steadfast. I'm going to use this guy. People were telling me other options, but I was like, nope, Venom, soloed it. So easy. 7-star rank 2 Venom. And that is just about all I have for you today. So if you have made it this far, then congratulations. You have an attention span greater than that of a goldfish. And go away.